weekend goes, there's not a lot of change in the weather going through tonight and into tomorrow. So we will be cooling off a little bit. Getting down into the mid 60s. So by about midnight or so, your overnight temperatures are in the low to mid 60s for temperatures. And then for tomorrow, it'll warm up pretty fast. So don't expect it to feel cool or crisp. It's not going to waste any time. We'll just warm up really fast throughout the day. Getting into the mid 80s. So by lunchtime, it should be around 82, 83 degrees or so. And there's a tiny, tiny chance for a shower. I really see Saturday mostly as being a dry day of weather. It should be kind of what we're looking at. Now going into Sunday, why is it getting cloudy all of a sudden? I do think that Sunday, clouds will be a factor in the morning, maybe even a little bit of a sprinkle, maybe a little fog here or there. That's kind of the way I see things playing out to start Sunday morning. And the reason for that is we have a cold front that's going to approach the area. So it's a two-part weekend. Saturday's warm, Sunday starting out with clouds, and it'll be a little cooler as a result. The high temperature Sunday afternoon should be right there around 80 degrees or so to finish things up. As far as your weekend, here's how I see both days playing out. Temperatures warm for Saturday, Sunday a little bit cooler with those morning clouds as well. So that's kind of the weekend forecast right now. As far as the overall weather pattern here, there's not a lot of change with high pressure staying in control for the next couple of days, but we will see some changes going into next week. What we'll watch is that the jet stream is going to take a big shift. So instead of staying warm with that jet stream really, really far to the north for a couple of days, we're going to see it start to take a big dip. So what I want you to see is that going into next week, things are changing up a little bit. So we'll have a flat jet stream Monday into Tuesday. And in case you're new to weather, the jet stream is really important to kind of govern who gets warm and who gets cool. This is kind of the way things change up. So going into the middle of next week, look ahead for Thursday or Friday or so. Take a look. You see there's a bit of a dip. So this is kind of the way things are changing. By Thursday, we see a dip in the jet stream like that. And what that'll do, it kind of brings in some moisture from the south. We get that from the Gulf this time of year. And as this trough continues to dig and set up a little bit, there's potential that what it'll do is it'll just send more rainfall. So not just for us, but up and down the East Coast, there'll be some opportunity for a decent amount of rain. And we haven't said that for a long time. This is not a guarantee. It's not locked in necessarily, but it is something I want you to be aware of, and it wouldn't be the worst thing for us. We could use some rainfall. Currently, the Weather Service is predicting a couple of inches of rain for next week. So right now, they have the mountains and Asheville, and really, this is odd timing because we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary for Hurricane Helene. It's possible that those same areas could get between 2 and 4 inches of rain toward the end of next week. For our area, well, maybe we see about an inch or two. That's possible. None of this is a guarantee, but it is something I want you to be aware of as we go toward the end of next week. There could be some setup. So again, pretty nice weekend shaping up around here, but going into early next week, that'll be something we want to keep an eye on. We have some football to talk about. Of course, college football, always a big deal this time of year. We got a big one in Greensboro. It's the Aggie Eagle Classic. That's going to be kicking off at 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. It'll be pretty hot. You know, temperatures in the upper 80s to near 90 for tailgates. It'll be toasty, to say the least, if you're in the stadium out there. Again, thankfully for the 4 o'clock kickoff, it's mostly the first half you got to worry about. If you're headed over to Durham, Duke is hosting the Wolfpack. That's going to be a nice game out there as well. Very competitive, I'm sure. It'll be hot, too. There's no escaping it, right? So the tailgates will be smoking. You do want to make sure you are in the tent or underneath some shade if you can. And then in the stadium, same thing as A&T. It'll be warm and toasty for the first half of weather, cooling off a little bit by the second half as the sun gets a little lower on the sky. Let's take a little bit of a look at the tropics. So what's going on here? Well, we have Tropical Storm Gabrielle. Last couple of days, we were kind of making fun at Gabrielle a little bit because it looked so pitiful. Well, now that's not the case. This is a full-blown tropical storm now with a good amount of thunderstorm activity. Winds are at 50 miles per hour. It is not a strong system, but it will gain some steam and it will move north and then it'll curve away. So this is what we're watching. Gabrielle becomes a hurricane perhaps by Sunday into Monday. Notice it stays very, very far away from us. There are no impacts to the Carolinas. It stays about 1,000 miles away, so no need to worry about that. Let me leave you with the 7-day forecast as we work our way through the weekend and go into next week. Upper 80s still on the table for Saturday, so it's going to be pretty warm. Sunday, cooler and more clouds. The clouds are mostly for the morning. Looking ahead to next week, first day of fall happens on Monday, but it doesn't make much of a difference. We'll be in the mid-80s through Wednesday. Rain after that.